Hi, everyone. It's Leslie again. I was not happy with the last broadcast I did because you guys couldn't see me that well, and you also could not hear me hardly at all. So I'm back to talk about And She Could Be Next, and hopefully we won't have any of those AV problems this time around. I'm going to actually show you, and hopefully you can also hear, a clip from And She Could Be Next, which is a groundbreaking two-part documentary produced by folks like Ava DuVernay that aired for the first time on PBS in June. But this Wednesday night, tomorrow night, August 26th, there is going to be a global watch party that I am helping host. And so I wanted to talk with everyone today about what's so important about this documentary and why you should join us tomorrow night. But let's start off with the clip, and we can have a listen.
Georgia has the most aggressive set of voter suppression laws than any state in the country. It is voter ID laws, documentary proof of citizenship in order to register to vote, poll closures and consolidations, massive purges, and then what's called use it or lose it. And that's if you don't vote, you lose the right to vote in the state of Georgia. It's almost like death by 1,000 cuts. Each of these things on their own might not be offensive to most people. Collectively, they make up a scheme that is designed to make it more difficult for people of color and for women and young people and poor people to participate in our state's elections. And it is absolutely by design.
On July 3rd, the day before the 4th of July, I go to my mailbox and I see these mailers in my mailbox, and they look like the things, get free dental insurance, whatever, but they have the change of address stickers on them. So I'm like, this must be important. So I open up mine, and the first line goes, "We have reason to believe you have moved. And if you do not fill this form out," which looks exactly like a registration form, "we're going to put you on an inactive role," right? So I'm looking through the thing, and I'm like, well, that's odd because I just voted. So I'm not inactive, and I moved, but I moved within the same county. So according to the National Voter Registration Act, if one moves within the same county, the only thing I had to do was fill out a change of address form, which I did. And the county and the state is supposed to send me a new registration card, which they didn't. I've had just about every relative serving every war. You sent my people to go fight for democracy here and somewhere else. And then I come here and you try to take it from me? Do you know how pissed off that makes me?
So as you can see, this episode that we'll be watching together tomorrow night really focuses on the state of Georgia and what happened there in 2018 during the general election. For those who don't know, Secretary of State at the time, who was responsible for the legitimacy of the elections in the state, was running for governor against Stacey Abrams. And so you can imagine the conflicts of interest and the ways in which the machinery that is voter suppression was stacked up against Stacey Abrams and those that voted for her and many other candidates within the state in 2018. So I think it's really important to think about what voter suppression is and what it isn't. So when we talk about voter suppression, I think a lot of folks have a misconception that it's just, I go to the poll and they turn me away, and so that's voter suppression, which it is. But voter suppression, as you heard Nsé say during the clip, is a lot more nuanced than that. And so really we're looking at three different ways in which our votes are being suppressed. And so the first is in our ability to register to vote. And so when you see things like restrictive voter ID laws, and things like that, that's stopping us from registering to vote. And in particular, since the 2013 gutting of the Voting Rights Act, we've seen a number of states, especially majority Black states, enact laws that make it much harder to register. So imagine you're a voter, first-time voter, third-time voter, however many times that you vote. If you're voting for the first time, you're going to register and you're met with obstacles to stop you from registering to vote. The second thing is at the ballot box, which is that when we go to vote, we're turned away from voting. We're told that we're not supposed to be there to vote. Polling locations are closed so that there's less places in our own communities to go and vote. And also, we are disproportionately Black, brown, and poor people. We are given provisional ballots at the ballot box more than any other demographics. So that's the second way. And then the third way is after we've cast our vote, we've jumped through all the hoops, we've registered, we've gone, and we placed our vote. The third way is that our votes can also be, quite frankly, just discarded for any number of reasons. And this was deployed with disturbing success in Georgia. And many people have said that what happened in 2018 in Georgia was really a dress rehearsal on the part of the Republican Party to prepare for the 2020 election. And so we have been watching throughout this primary, whether it was long lines in Georgia once again, or people banging on doors in Kentucky to be able to vote because they were still in line. We're watching these same tactics play out around the country. And so tomorrow night when we gather to watch this, what we really are trying to do is to glean the lessons and the things that happened in 2018, glean lessons and learn what we need to do collectively and individually to ensure that this doesn't happen in 2020 to the best of our abilities. So we're going to also talk about what is your voter plan? What's my voting plan? What's our community voting plan? And what the importance is of that. I'm really excited to have this conversation. I'll primarily be on Twitter. I'll be using the hashtag #SheCouldBeNext PBS, and I'm also going to be using hashtag All Eyes on GA, which is All Eyes on Georgia. So you'll see both of those hashtags being used throughout the evening. And then the last one hashtag that'll be used is hashtag Step into Power, which is really about empowering all of us to make sure that we protect our own vote and do whatever we can to do that. So tomorrow night, August 26th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, you will be able to stream this documentary on PBS. It's free. So if you have the PBS app on your tablet, if you have it on your Apple TV, if you just pull it up, or if you have PBS on your television, you can watch it there. You can also go online to andshecouldbenext.com/watch, and you can watch it directly there. And again, we're going to be watching episode 2. And lastly, if you are a patron of mine on Patreon, or if you're on my mailing list, you received an invitation via email today to a Zoom conversation that I'll be hosting during the watch party as well. So that's a little special thing. And for those that come to that, I'm going to be doing a little giveaway, which is really fun. I'm going to be giving away this amazing And She Could Be Next t-shirt. I'm going to be giving away a pack of And She Could Be Next postcards, so you can send your friends. I love this tagline. There's an organizer in all of us. And lastly, these really great pins. So I'll be giving away all 3 of those to folks that join me. If you're one of my patrons, or if you are on my mailing list, be able to join me to even talk together about what we're seeing in this episode and what it means for all of us this November. So again, tomorrow night, Wednesday, August 26th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, you can go to andshecouldbenext.com/watch to join in the conversation, and then use hashtag #SheCouldBeNextPBS, hashtag All Eyes on GA, All Eyes on Georgia, or hashtag Step into Power. I'm really excited to join this conversation with a group of amazing people all over the country that are going to be joining in to these watch parties, and I hope that you'll join us as well as we head into this home stretch before the November general election. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.